Yeah, the fastest way to increase your salary is absolutely changing companies. It's just the economics of recruiting. Companies have to pay a lot more to pull in new people than they do to keep the employees they have at that same level. So if you want to get paid more, it does pay to look around and do a bit of job hopping. We just want to be conscious we're not leaving jobs too quickly because then we look unreliable. Welcome to Next Job Now,
the podcast where we help you get your next job
right now. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Greg Langstaff. I'm a certified resume strategist. I've written over 2,000 resumes, and I love helping people get new jobs.
And I'm Jeff, and I have a lot of questions about job searching. Together, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about landing your next role. Landing your next role is really about what we're talking about today. We're going to dive into the ideal length that you want to stay in a role and when's the best time to apply for a promotion or apply to a different company, how you can spot layoffs, how you can spot your own burnout, and signs that it's time to maybe move on. So let's dive into the timing question. What's a good period of staying in one job?
Honestly, it's gonna vary quite a bit. The best amount of time to stay in one job is typically over a year, but under 3 to 4 years. Just so we're showing growth, we're adding responsibilities, and also for salary purposes as well. We don't want to be stagnant too long.
Yeah, I've heard that leaving companies, you're more likely to get a salary increase because they're willing to pay you versus getting an internal promotion. It's not quite as high, or like annual promotions as well.
Yeah, the fastest way to increase your salary is absolutely changing companies. It's just the economics of recruiting. Companies have to pay a lot more to pull in new people than they do to keep the employees they have at that same level. So if you want to get paid more, it does pay to look around and do a bit of job hopping. We just want to be conscious we're not leaving jobs too quickly because then we look unreliable.
And you're saying that is 1 year. That 1 year threshold of, if you're leaving a job every year, you are a job hopper and you are undesirable because you're unreliable.
Yes, you're undesirable because you're unreliable. Now, I'll say 1 year at a company or even only 6 months at a company. Not a huge problem. The huge problem is when we have a pattern of short stints. If you're 5 years here, 6 months here, 7 years here, I'm okay with that. We're not going to be too bothered by your reliability unless there's a pattern.
And what about a promotion? Is it good if that promotion comes within that 6 months? Does that look good? Quickly promoted to the manager role. Is that speaking to oh wow, high quality, they saw potential and they instantly recognized that, and that is going to set me on a fast track to success?
Absolutely. If you got promoted in a new job, you should list that as the first bullet point under that job on your resume.
And what do promotions look like? Is it usually, Greg, we think you're doing great, we're going to make you senior manager, here's an increase in salary and an increase in responsibility? Or is it, Greg, there's a role opening up, you've been crushing it for 6 months, we want you to apply to this role instead?
I think both happen pretty often. From my thousands of clients that I've talked to, I've heard a lot of people who just sort of got given this new title because their employer rightfully realized they were doing more work than their current title had dictated. But I've also seen and been a part of those situations where the boss says, we have a new manager role open. I'd like everyone on the team to consider applying to this role. And then you're going to fighting it out awkwardly with your colleagues. Yeah.
So we talked about moving on too quickly. What's the period of sticking around too long?
Okay, so I'm never going to get upset with someone who stayed at a company where they were doing work they cared about and they were happy. But it does look a little bit weird if you are not getting promotions while you're at a company for a long time. So 3-4 years is about the amount of time I'd like to see someone in one specific role before they're at least moving up within their current organization or moving out to something else.
I'm going to say this. I've moved on quickly. 2 to 5 years is usually how long I stay at a company, and it's usually multiple jobs or a promotion within there. But we are obsessed with moving on to new jobs, and there is no appreciation for stability.
Mm-hmm.
Sticking around for 10 years in one role without desire to get a promotion and more responsibility seems like that's unfair. We have lives to live.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I want to be very clear because there's a huge misconception about how staying in a job for a long time hurts your career. It doesn't hurt your resume. It doesn't make you less desirable to an employer who's considering hiring you. It just has certain salary disadvantages. You may only be getting that 2% raise year over year. And if you change companies, you could be up for 20%, 30% when you jump ship. So that's the only disadvantage I see to staying at a company a long time.
And so sometimes, leaving a job isn't really up to us. And 9 times out of 10, when we do get laid off, it's not your fault.
No.
Layoffs happen because of poor management, because people are trying to protect the money, or there's financial hardship within that company.
Yep.
So we have to realize that it's not about you. And I just want everyone to know that it's not about you. Can we see layoffs coming? Is there any warning signs or red flags? How do I know a layoff is coming?
So the most obvious way to know a layoff is coming is that other people in your company have been laid off. We also see signs like a hiring freeze, cuts in spending, senior management leaving or being let go. These are all signs. We can also, if we're close enough to the operations, we can see when sales start to drop off. We can see when our industry starts to go downhill, if our competitors are doing layoffs. These are all signs that you might be getting laid off soon. And if that's the case, it's time to update your resume.
Is there anything that we can do to save our job?
Oh, if you expect a layoff is coming?
Yeah, you see a layoff coming. You don't want to be laid off, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the recommendation is, do you jump ship, update your resume, and find a way out quickly? Or stick around and try to take advantage of what's to come?
Employers are pretty self-serving. We need to be the same. So if we expect a layoff might be coming, we should be job searching our butts off. We should be trying to get out before they get rid of us because they are going to get rid of us. And at the same time, if you want to stick around and while you're job searching, try to save the company, try to save your job by doing a great job, then go for it. Both are great. And if you do some good stuff before you get laid off and you still aren't able to save the company, at least you have some nice things to say on your resume.
Great point. Yeah. So what about the opposite? Not a layoff. You just hate your job. You're no longer motivated by work. Everything is awful. Is that a sign to move on? And is that a valid reason to move on?
Yes.
If you don't like your job, you should leave it.
Yes.
That makes sense. It sounds so easy, but it's not.
Well, no, and the biggest thing on most of our minds is probably the money. Like if you don't have a nest egg or a partner who's a high earner, you may have to stick it out at your job. And if that's the situation, I do recommend staying and job searching while you're still at work.
Yeah, don't leave until you've set up the next thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've been in jobs where I've been lucky. I've liked a lot of my jobs. But when I start not to like it, it's like, okay, well, what's changing? Is it the atmosphere? Is it the work?
Yeah.
Right? Like, am I starting to take on a lot of the times, when I didn't like it, it was always too much responsibilities coming my way and I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah. Did you ever try to talk to your manager, your leaders to fix that?
How do I tell if I'm burnt out or just tired of this job?
It's a deeply personal question, isn't it? Like I really advocate for people kind of noticing signs of burnout in themselves before it like puts you in the hospital or knocks you out of your job altogether. But yeah, I mean things like feeling like excessively lethargic, like dreading going to work. I'll give you a great example from my own experience. I had a job years ago that I was done with. And I did enjoy that job a lot and all the people I worked with, but it was a secular thing. Like every year was the same stuff over and over and over. And by the end, I was so dreading going to do that job again because there was nothing for me to do that I just couldn't get myself to get in the subway to go to work. And so I would get up in the morning. I lived maybe 14, 18 subway stops away from work. And I would walk past the closest one because I couldn't get in. And then I'd walk past the next one because I couldn't get in. And I just keep telling myself, I'm just going to walk one more subway stop. And I'd end up showing up to work like an hour and a half late, like days and days in a row because I couldn't get myself to go. That's a good sign.
Let's do a quick activity about valid reasons to leave a job.
Okay.
I'm going to list some reasons and I want you to blind rank them between 1 and 7.
All right.
Okay.
Wait, 7 is the most valid?
No, number 1 being most valid, 7 being the least valid.
1 is most valid. Okay, got it.
Okay. You are leaving because of a toxic workplace.
2. Second most valid reason. And I'm going to say that because I just feel like you got something up your sleeve for number 1. But that's an extremely valid reason to leave your job.
Limited work from home days.
That's going to depend on your life circumstances. I'm going to put it a little lower. 5.
Family care.
That's 1. That's why I had a feeling something like that was coming. Yeah. Sick family member or new baby or elderly parent. Great reasons to leave.
Because you got a negative performance review.
7.
That's the worst reason.
That's the worst reason to leave your job because like performance reviews are part of your work. And if delivered respectfully in a structured setting like a performance review, you should just take that as something to work on.
The commute is too long.
That's like a 4. That's right down the middle, I would say.
And that leaves number 3.
We have 3 and 5, 3 and 6 left.
Recruited to a new company.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that may be even higher than the 1 and 2 I mentioned. That's the best reason to leave your job.
And then that leaves number 6?
Yeah.
No, 5. Sorry.
We'll have to check the tape. 5 or 6.
It's because you won the lottery.
Hey!
Congratulations. It's not you don't need to leave, but it's a good reason to leave.
Congrats on winning the lottery.
You did it.
Yeah.
Is it ever okay to leave a job without another job lined up?
Absolutely. I had a client yesterday who left a job without another job lined up because, as they put it so well, I wanted to leave while I still had the mental health and physical health to job search. So if things are like wearing you down so bad at work that you don't think you're going to be healthy enough to look for a new job, yes, get out of there.
And like you've mentioned on previous episodes, short gaps are fine.
Yeah.
If you have the financial stability and you can take that short gap, a 3-month employment gap is not a big deal, and employers are not going to look at that and say, you've been employed for 15 years. What happened to the last 3 months?
No, they are not.
Mm-hmm. What do I say in an interview when I left a job too soon?
I think you need to give them kind of a nice reason. So if you had already left a job and they are asking you, why did you leave that job? A nice, simple, respectful answer around that the job responsibilities didn't end up being aligned with the expectations you had for the role, or that actually that's probably the best one. It's just simply that because then you're not attacking the people, you're not attacking the company, but you're saying that I had expectations set up for going into this role and they did not necessarily align with what I was then asked to do when I got there. Mm-hmm. It's probably the easiest one to do without hurting anyone's feelings.
Yeah. Okay, let's give the folks listening some actionable takeaways. So if you are ready to leave your job, what is something that you can do in your current job to set you up for a promotion or a career change?
Okay, I recommend if you want a promotion, first look at some job postings that describe that role. It could be at another company, it doesn't have to be at your current company, but see what are the experiences they're looking for? What are the skills they're looking for? What are the credentials, the technology? And that is your to-do list. You need to do everything you can to get those experiences, get that training, and become that person who they're looking for in these roles. That could be asking your boss for additional responsibility. Could be signing up for trainings online outside of work. Any of that stuff to like put yourself in a position to be who they're trying to hire or promote.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Jeff.
It's now time for my favorite segment, Unusual Interviews, where we ask each other questions that we hope you don't get asked in an interview. All right, Greg.
Jeff.
What is the most challenging physical feat you've ever accomplished?
I would say this is a great example of a year two turnaround. So I did the 21-kilometer Spartan race, which is just a mass. It's on a ski hill. It's 1,300 meters of elevation. We're just running up and down the ski hill all day, doing all these obstacles. And the first time I did it, it took me 6 hours. It was brutal. Now, the weather was pretty bad, but
Running for 6 hours?
it wasn't running. It was slipping and falling for 6 hours. I came back the next year. I signed up to do it again.
Yeah, you did.
I did it in 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Yes, you
Yeah!
did! Amazing!
Thank you. And I nailed every single obstacle first try. All right, Jeff. Time for a question you really don't want me to ask because I've stumped you with this the last 3 weeks. Had to ask my backup question, but he's assured me he's ready.
I'm ready.
Jeff, you're a film buff.
I like movies.
What's a movie that's come out in the last 10 years that you feel is overrated?
I've thought long and hard about this. It is F1.
Why?
The cinematography was great. The energy was nice, but it was hyped up. It looks really cool, and it's not that good of a storyline. It's so predictable. Oh, no, it's a rookie and a vet. Oh, you're such a badass. Brad Pitt. Of course, honestly, it shouldn't have been Brad Pitt. It should have been George Clooney.
They got the wrong Ocean's 11 guy.
They got the wrong Ocean's 11 guy. Like, Brad Pitt didn't bring Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was better in Bullet Train, which it wasn't his best movie, but it was still better than F1. F1 just, it had a lot of gaps. They also cut the girl from Bridgerton, which controversy. Come on, keep her in. She deserved it. That's my thought.
Wow. You really are a film buff.
No, I'm not, but F1, and I just watched it.
All right.
And it left me disappointed.
I'm sorry to hear that was a disappointment to you.
Thank you. But you know what's not disappointing?
What?
Next time when you join in on this podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Thanks so much for joining.
We'll see you next time.